Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Build Your Best Life. Hi, I'm Coach Deborah, and I am excited to have you here as always. Thank you so much for tuning in today. You could have been anywhere else, but you decided to join us here on Build Your Best Life. Good evening, Deacon Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Well, you know, this year it is all about blueprint for success. You have to write that plan, make it plain, follow those steps if you want to be successful. It just doesn't fall into your lap. This month, we are Our theme is Blueprint for Next Level Education. You know, education is not simply just books and classes and stuff like that. It is all types of where you can get information from. So you can get information from a host of different places, from different people, and all these type things. So I am so excited today. I have one of my special guests that's back today with us. He's having a little computer issues. So I guess you say, why is she talking so much? I'm giving him a little bit of time. But, you know, it is always a pleasure to get on here and talk about things. So we have a great topic lined up for you today. But I do want to thank you so much for your prayers and for always commenting, giving us those shares, those likes. We appreciate it so very much, because without you, Build Your Best Life would not be here. So I thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Hi there.
Hello, I'm here. So I was having a little computer problem, so I resort to using my phone. So I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you great. Can you turn your phone the other way? You're teeny tiny.
Oh, I'm tiny. Let's see.
Yeah, there you go. All
Yeah,
right. That's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Not a problem.
good, good. Let me hold it up here so you can kind of make sure you can block out a little bit of the light. So I know there's a lot of light, so let me get the room just right.
All right.
There we go. I think that's a little better.
Awesome.
Well, Coach, thank you again for having me, and it's a pleasure to be on with you today. Uh, and in any way where you can, for me, anything I can do to help, and always trying to be a blessing to others.
Great. I appreciate it. So, I thank you for being back on here. So, if you can just tell everybody a little bit about yourself. I know we probably have some new people on here, but tell us, about you and your blueprint for success. What do you like to do?
So my name is Sean Smith, originally from the Bahamas, Nassau to be exact. Grew up in the Over the Hill area. Went to public school. Worked in corporate Bahamas for a while before coming to school, and then worked I'm in the Dallas Fort Worth area. Worked in hospitality, and I have a small business, a small entertainment business, and that's me in a nutshell. Married, no kids.
All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, again, we're talking about that next level education. And today, our topic is how to get to your next level. We're never too old, too young to learn. So we should never be satisfied with staying in that same place, because the world around us is changing, evolving. So we should want to level up as well. So it's
Yes.
all about that next level. So many are satisfied with getting to one level, accomplishing one thing, and just staying there. And these individuals they will do just enough to get by, and that's all they want to do. They never attempt to reach that pinnacle of their existence. I'm going to say that again. They never attempt to reach that pinnacle of their existence. So God gave us all a purpose. And so my purpose is not the same as yours. Yours is not the same as the next person, but you have one. So if you don't keep trying to reach, are you going to reach that purpose that God has for you?
Yeah, that go ahead. That's I mean, you hit the nail right on the head in terms of reaching finding a purpose and reaching that next level.
Yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being completely satisfied and 10 being keep going to maximize your potential, what do you think would be a good rating and why?
Well, for me, being a middle child, I have that child syndrome, and, and so for me, being number 10, you always reach into that next level, that next plateau. And for me, growing up in a house with siblings, so a little more history. My dad was a chef. Uh, I love telling stories, so you have a lot of stories today. My dad was a chef, and one of the things for us as his kids, whenever he came home and he would eat, he can take one spoonful of food and he can tell you which one of his kids or if his wife cooked. And then he would tell you, hey, where you went wrong. So it was always, okay, I cooked this dish and daddy said I needed a little more salt. So next time, you want to add a little more salt, or you want to add a little more spice. So it's always, okay, what can I do to get to that next level? Also in school, in high school, it was always a healthy competition. It was always a healthy competition in terms of, all right, that person came first last time in that math quiz. Next time I'm gonna beat that person. So it's always trying to up. And it was, like I said, it was always a healthy competition. If you failed something, you always had someone you can go to and say, hey, how did you do that? What did you do? And so that was the environment I grew up in. So that number for me is definitely a 10. Always trying to get to the next level, trying to just get above and beyond.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I believe in that too. Hi, Agnes. Um, Thank you for tuning in. I was the only child, so, and then my parents, no one had ever graduated from high school, not my mom, dad, my grandparents. And so I didn't have anybody to help me with my work, but it was like, you better get it. You better do it right. So I was just like always just trying to figure it out. I know I
Yeah.
better do my best, or I was going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
So I agree with that 10.
My mom always, if she give you a task to do, you have to do it at your best ability, or if not, she come. My sister and I always would fight who to, it ain't my turn to wash dishes, and she let you go to sleep, and she would wake you up, letting you know, listen, these dishes ain't clean. You better get up, and I don't care. In fact, both of y'all get up and do it. And after you do it, she gonna inspect it. So you better do it to the
Right.
best of your ability.
Yep. And that stuff sticks with you too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
I think it really helps me in terms of my drive to get where I'm at, and even going further. That foundation roots that kind of help you no matter where you go. If you're grounded and rooted, you know the storm of life will come through. You'll have limbs down, you have leaves down, but that tree is still standing because of the roots.
That's right. That is so right. Now, I believe that, excuse me, not enough young people take an assessment of their lives to determine their skills and potential. They don't know what they have, so they simply just do enough.
Yeah.
So, can you imagine like a 19-year-old with a Lamborghini? Now, they never have seen one. They don't know really, when they see it, all they know is it's expensive. It
Yeah.
looks nice. So they're given an opportunity to drive it. Okay, go ahead. You can drive it. You can go anywhere you want to in there for like 4 hours. So in there, when they get in there, the speedometer has the normal 0 to 120. So they go off and they drive around. They may do 85, they might do 90, but that's it. And they're satisfied with that experience. However, you take that same car and you tell a person, hey, the speedometer that's not really the speedometer. That's just average. But if you push this button, I've never been in one. I'm just making this up.
Right.
You see 200 miles per hour. Then they get in that car and they make it do something 120, 140, 160. Because you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
But that Lamborghini can really, really go. But you're
Yeah.
not taking it to its full potential. And I think that's what a lot of people do. They have so many gifts and they're just, like I say, they're okay with how it is. Um, so that was just, off the cuff scenario. So
Right.
how would you take that and play into, how people think and how they do things?
One of the things I firmly believe in is that parents who have kids uh, in America should often take those kids out of the country. If you can't afford out of the country, for instance, you live in a big major city, take the kids to the country where you were raised or where you were brought up. And I think that would be that gives a kid something to measure. Because a lot of times, coming from the Bahamas, seeing what kids have here and what I grew up with, totally different, night and day. And so when I got here, it kind of really, drive me and excel me to even do better because I grew up with less. And so if you expose kids, in the Bahamas, growing up in Nassau, our parents would always send us to the other islands. Nassau is the big city, so you go to Eleuthera or Exuma to your cousins, and you really experience. For them, it was a little harder. We're in a city, so we have everything. Uh, we have everything to our fingertips. You have cable, and every room have a phone. And some of the old islands, one phone. You may have had an outhouse. So you learn that I'm so blessed to have all these gadgets and tools and stuff at my fingertips. So when you really you go and you achieve something, you can go back and you have something to measure it by.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I would really, 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 uh, parents, take your kids and expose them to just being living simple. And so when they're in their room and they have their own TV and they have their video games, they know that person in Africa or in wherever in the country don't have that, don't have their own rooms. They share rooms with siblings, So you have to start early from exposing your kids to that so that they can really appreciate what they have and they can get a foundation of their getting rising to their full potential.
All right. Yep, that's good. And that was something that your parents did. I think was really, really good because now we, I mean, I wasn't like well to do anything when I was a
Right.
child, but like you say, we had running water, we had food, we had inside plumbing and all of that. And my first marriage, when I was engaged, and they were from Alabama, and I
Hmm.
went to visit them, and it was like, oh my goodness, it was just totally different. It's like
Yeah.
something I had never seen before. They had
Night and day.
yeah, I think all the boys slept in one room, all the girls slept in one room. They did not have inside plumbing. They had the outhouse still,
Yep.
and all of this. And I'm like, okay. So it makes you thankful for what you have. We take so
Definitely.
much for granted.
We do. We do. And then too, and so you find a lot of kids, who come from a little, they tend to really strive to achieve because they know, what it took to get them to where they're at. And you know, as a child, you wanted the bells and whistles. You wanted the you know, to have your own room. You wanted TV in your room. You wanted the air condition. Your other friends have it. You know,
Right.
your other friends have it, and you want it. So you know, for me, I knew if I wanted certain stuff, I had to work for it.
Hmm.
My first pair of name brand shoes back in the day, everyone wear clocks,
Okay.
and it was still about five of us. It's 10 of us, so it was still about five of us still in school. And my mom was like, I asked my mom for this $90 pair of shoes, and this is in the '80s, mid '80s, and she was like, you know, and my mom and dad they have this it's, they'll tell you go and ask this one and go and ask that one, and I think they used to be laughing amongst themselves, you know, just a little humor. And so she'd be like, go ask your dad. And so my dad was like, how many pair of shoes you want? But that summer, I worked to get those pair of shoes, and every time I got my mom upset, she would be like, you want me to send you down to John's to get a $30 pair of shoes? You know, and those shoes last me my high school from 10th to 12th grade. In fact, after I finished high school, I still had those shoes, you know, because Clark's, I mean, they make some really good shoes, that English leather, you
Hmm.
know, and so those puppies, they last. But the things I had to do for that, and I appreciate what I had to do, you know, and so those shoes, uh, yeah, they last a long time.
All right. Yep. Well, tell us, uh, how do you think a positive mindset plays into a person and a confidence and them hitting that next level? Is that something that will push a person more so than if they don't have a positive mindset?
Oh, definitely. A positive mindset really can help a person. I mean, you can go back biblically in terms of just look at Job. You know, no matter what Job came up against, you know, he always had a positive mindset, never and not to curse God.
Right.
So you have to be positive. If you look biblically, you will find a lot of Bible heroes who are always just positive, who always had that go get him. I can think of David. David was always positive. He can do it. I mean, to go and fight a giant with a stone.
Hmm.
How could you going up against a giant, a 7 foot guy, and you're a little kid, and so you have to be positive. You have to have I can do it. I can do it. That little train that can. So
Right.
positivity plays a very important role in achieving stuff in life. I've always been positive because it was kind of rooted in me. You know, my dad was always happy go lucky. My mom never met a stranger. So from small, they kind of rooted in us how to be positive, always, stay cheerful and never give up. And in the neighborhood I grew up in, they had a saying, "You're a crusader. You never say die." You never say die. You stay positive no matter what happened. You always stay cheerful, and you just keep going. You keep going. Not everyone needs to know what you know. You can be having a bad day, but you don't have to show it. A
That's right.
smile on your face, a soft word of gratitude, that can go a long way. In my life, I'm a prime example of a lot of times I've had, because of my attitude, my positive attitude and my positive outlook on life, I've had people to kind of, come over here. Let me show you to do this. Let me show you how to do that. Because
Mhm.
I was positive. I was always cheerful. I was always, hey, what are you doing over there? And that really, really carried me through and helped me throughout my adult life and even in business. You know, if you stay positive, there'll always be, like Coach says, there's always someone there for you in terms of to help you in your
Right.
walk. So you just have to stay positive, and always, and don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it.
That's
You
right.
know, but if you're positive, you always have a good uh, outlook on life and never let things get you down. But and there will be days when you're down, but
Most
you
definitely.
just keep smiling and keep knowing that God is on your side and He hasn't brought you to where you are to leave you. You know, and I had a comic, a little cartoon came to mind where there's this little cartoon where people are walking carrying a cross, and this guy keep on stopping and cutting it, and keep on cutting it, and finally he gets to the bridge, and everyone is taking that cross and laying it across to get across this bridge, but he keep on cutting his, and so he can't get across the bridge, and so that's like not if you're not positive and you just keep on trucking, because in order to wear a crown you have to carry a cross.
All right.
You have to carry a cross in order to wear that crown. And no matter what, God's going to bring you through it. Going back to Job.
Yep.
Prime example. Yeah, you have to stay positive. Positivity, I mean, when you look at people that are excelling in life, and most of our young folks look at athletes and stars. If you look at the people who are really killing it, are people who are positive.
Mm.
People who always have a sunny disposition in life. Those persons, no matter where you go, those are the persons who are in front. And mind you, behind the scenes, they might be, I mean, just dying inside, but they're always positive. They always, always a smile on their face. I was listening to a little snippet today of a former basketball player, and he was talking about Kobe Bryant. And he was saying, Kobe Bryant, all the positivity he had in him because he had a real huge work ethic.
Mhm.
And I mean, he was doing stuff before it was time to do it. He had an opponent that he was playing like 2 weeks, and he was practicing, using one hand, because he know that he's coming up against this guy, and he's practicing because he wants to keep that positive action going so that when he faces this guy, he can win, you
Right.
know, and yeah, so being positive and having a good work ethic definitely can take you to the next level.
Yeah. And he definitely had a good work ethic because even before, he was on a team, he would go in and into the basketball arena and just practice, practice,
Yeah,
practice. He wasn't even on the team. So, yeah,
yeah,
he was going for it. And,
that,
that's what you have to do. That's why you got your blueprint for success because you
yes.
have to have those things that you want to do. You got to have a mindset, hey, I can do it. No matter what somebody else says, try to hold you back. I can do this. I'm gonna do it.
I'm
And
gonna do it.
yeah,
You know,
you
you know, Michael Jordan got cut from making a varsity team, and
right.
that just kind of gave him a drive to say, hey, I can do this. You
Yep.
know, I can do this, and we all can do stuff. We all can do whatever we put in our minds. Because of Christ, He gives us the strength to do all good things. Through Him. So if you have a good foundation, you have Christ as your foundation. The sky is the limit. The
Yes.
sky's the limit.
Yep. It is. That's great. I like that. But those are two great examples. Hi, Dan. Thank you for tuning in. You were saying that, and I kept looking at different people that are on here viewing. And you talk about people with positive mindsets, and the people's whose name I can see, those are people with positive mindsets, and it's just so funny. People are always drawn to those people.
Yeah.
You know, people want to know, well, why is this? You come in and you go straight to that person because I know she's positive. She got a smile on her face, no matter what's going on. She's not looking mean or like she
Yeah.
don't be bothered. So it makes a great difference.
I'll tell you one of the lessons I've learned. And think about this. People never remember what you told them. They'll never remember what you say to them. They'll always remember how you made them feel.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're positive and that radiates from you, people will always be drawn to that because, when you're happy, and we had a song in school, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. And
Mm-hmm.
so people want that happiness. People want that joy. People want that smile. People want it. You go to certain restaurants and you get bad service, or you get a server who ain't smiling. It's kind of like, yeah, I ain't coming here no more because you want to. Everyone wants to be happy.
Right.
Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone wants to go where they're loved, where they're appreciated. You want to. So why would I go somewhere where or go around someone that is going to be pulling me down, or it's going to be negative, or it's going to it defeats the purpose. It's almost like defeating why you're living. Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone want to live and be joyful and make money and have what they want. And so all of that comes from being positive, positivity, having great attitude.
Yes, most definitely. All right. Can you please give us 5 tips, however many you have, on how your peers can distract you or totally tear you away from getting to your next level? Your peers.
I'm gonna start by saying I've never had people tell me. No, I'm just joking. The first thing that came to my mind, and I just used that word, negativity. Negativity. Whenever you have people or persons around you who are negative, that can really, really, really pull you down. That can really distract you from your goals. Uh, it's almost like a bug. Once it gets in, it sets in. It just pulls you down. So negativity. You don't want negativity in your life. You don't want negative in your life. Growing up, my mom in school, my mom would always tell us, if you see someone fighting one way, or a group of kids fighting one way, head the next way.
Mhm.
Trouble is easy to get into and hard to get out of.
All
So
right.
all that is negative. That negative force. You go around someone, you just can feel, and it's like, whoa, whoa. Negativity. Avoid negativity at all costs. Avoid negativity at all costs. Here's a kind of double whammy. Pleasure, because pleasure is good, right?
All right.
But too much pleasure. You got to test tomorrow. You got to test the next day, but you college kids, you got to test the next day, but you're till 4 o'clock in the morning, and you got a 9 o'clock test or 8 o'clock test.
Wow.
Because what? You're out having fun, having pleasure. You know, uh, if you're in a relationship, you know, someone offers you pleasure, but you're in a relationship, whether it's committed or, I mean, a boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband and wife. Pleasure, too much pleasure, ain't good for you. And with pleasure, you got to be disciplined.
Hmm.
You have to have discipline. You know, going out and having fun is all right, but when it gets to where it's affecting your productivity, that's a problem. And you often have friends who will call you up, hey, let's go, let's go. No, I got to study for this. Or no, I already have something going on. Or no, I'm going to Bible study. Why don't you come go to Bible study with me? Oh, I'm going to the club. No, I'm not going to the club. I'm good. So you have to temper, you know, you have to temper and have an even keel in terms of pleasure. Uh, and that's where discipline comes in. Another thing that I think kind of gets in the way sometimes is, hate and fear. I mean, I'm gonna put those together, hate and fear. You always gonna have people who will be naysayers, uh,
Hmm.
and like they say in this day and age, you always gonna have haters. Always gonna have haters.
All right.
You can't focus on those naysayers. You can't focus on the haters. You can't focus on that. You know, uh, my mom used to always tell us, if they crucify Jesus, what do you think they'll do to you?
Hmm.
If they cursed him and spat on him, what did it do to you? So I never worry about what people say, and haters, and the goes back to negativity. I never let that get a hold of me. And once you have that haters and people saying stuff about you, that's where that fear comes in. You
Hmm.
know, oh, what am I going to do? Because they said this and they said that, and oh, I'm afraid to go to this function. I'm afraid to go to that function because of this person. No, no. God does not give us a spirit of fear. God did not give us a spirit of fear. We can overcome. We are conquerors.
Right.
We're giants. Like I said, in my neighborhood, from a child, we're crusaders. We never say die. You ain't gonna never get the best of us. So I never had that spirit of fear. I can do anything I put my mind to. And in fact, you know, I would often, in college, I wrote a paper one time, and my English teacher gave me an 8, and I was like, if I'm going off keel here, but I'm gonna get back. But I would say, like, if my high school classmates were here, I mean, and she gave me an A, and I was a C student, they would be like, genius. But that kind of drove me, and that was like, hey, I can't be afraid because I was a C student, now I'm an A student. I can't be afraid. Just got to keep on plugging. I got to write and do the best that I can. So I just never had the spirit of fear in me. I always just positive and always can do whatever I put my mind to it. And even when I fail, because sometimes you stuck your toe or bump your toe, and
Right.
if you need, and sometimes you just need help, or sometimes you're approaching it wrong. You just need to readjust to how you're approaching something. But you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid, and you never worry about what the haters say.
Right.
This next thing that I think sometimes we don't look at, and it may be a little controversial. Sometimes you might have family members who might be in the way, who might be a hindrance, who might be stopping you from getting that next level. And it goes back to jealousy and hate. You
Right.
know, uh, Even family members, sometimes you have to, hey, I love you, but I got to be over here. I got to do this. But I love you. You can't. And sometimes family, because we often think that those are the persons who's supposed to be carrying you. Family members, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're not assigned to carry you. We all have our persons who are assigned, to help us through this walk called life. And sometimes it's not them. On the airplane, they often tell you, if the plane free fall, or if the air mask come on and you're traveling with kids, put your mask on first,
Right.
and then put the mask on the kid or the person next to you. So sometimes you got to go there and do stuff on your own, and then bring family along with you.
That's right.
You know, because if you're trying to, and in swimming, you're swimming, and someone's drowning, and it's like, listen, you can't save everybody. If you try to save that person will cause you to drown as well. And you may not be equipped. You might not be trained as a lifeguard to save that person.
All right.
You know, so sometimes that can be a downfall. And it's all right to say, hey, I can't help. I don't have the necessary tools to help you as a family member. Hey, I got to do this. No, if I come over there, it's gonna deter from what I got going on. Let me do this first, then I'm gonna come back and I'll help you. So sometimes you have to really look at that and say, hey, I'm sorry I can't help you, but I'll be back for you. Or I know someone who can help you. So don't be afraid. One of the things that was hard for me was saying no.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the hardest things for me to do, especially the family saying no. I can't do it. I can't help you. No. You know, One of the hardest things I did was say no to my sister when she asked me to do something for her, and I couldn't do it. And because I told her no, she was able to pick herself up and do it herself.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had gone on my way and tried to help her, then both of us would have been down in the mud. But because I said no and I couldn't do it, it helps her in order to achieve what she needed to achieve. And in life, sometimes going back to parents, sometimes parents kind of hinder kids from really excelling. You
Yep.
know, your kids call you up and you every time they call, you go. Every time they call, you no, you got to figure this out for yourself. I love you, but you're over 30 or you're over 20. You gotta figure this out. You're over 21. You gotta figure this out for yourself. You know,
Yep.
and it's hard. It's hard, but sometimes we have to do it in order to save ourselves, in order to survive. You know, I think the last one, and it goes back to kind of offshoot of one I said earlier. You got to be disciplined. You got to be disciplined. Uh, Discipline. It's and all the stuff I just named off, the stuff that can kind of help, can pull you down. If you're not disciplined, and that's the major. I think that's kind of the root. That's the root of the tree. Having discipline. You know, One of the things that I do in my business, uh, I have a DJ company, and a lot of times I'll DJ in locations. And when I first started, I was doing an 8 hour shift from 5 in the morning till you know 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'll go and get something to eat, and then I'll DJ from you know 8 until midnight or 8 until 1 a.m. And DJing at certain locations that often offer me alcoholic beverage. And I partake. I like wine. I partake in alcoholic beverages, but I'm disciplined enough to know if I've been going for 9, 10 hours and I live 2 hours away or hour and a half away, if I have one or two drinks, when I get on the road, I'm trying to drive. Now I may not be intoxicated,
Mm-hmm.
but the minute I swerve and I'm an hour away, I get pulled over. I'm off. I'm off. I'm off my game.
All right.
I'm off my game. Now, you get arrested or whatever, and that tears away from your purpose. That tears away from what you have, what you're trying to build. So one of my things, I don't feel if you come in fact, a place I often DJ at, they know to bring me a Sprite or a ginger ale.
Mm-hmm.
That's my discipline. That's my discipline. During Lent, you know, I'm a Episcopalian or Catholic, and so during Lent I give up stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and that helps me during the course of the year. So when I offer stuff, I'm disciplined and say, no, I'm good. So you have to have discipline in order to achieve, you know, your excellence or to achieve stuff. Financial discipline.
Yep.
You make $1 and you go then you spend $2. It's not being disciplined. If you make $1, coach have this what was it, 70/30? I think is it 70/30 or 80/20? Anyway, all I know is that you got to have some buckets. You got to have 3 or 4 buckets.
Yep.
You got to put some money in saving, put some money in your bills, put some money in your tie, and then put some money in terms of what you can spend.
Right.
So if you're disciplined in your finances, a lot of time, that's going to help you in other areas. Finances is one of those discipline that I know that a lot of people don't have, and in the long run, it costs you. Single people, when you're dating or you start looking for a spouse, if you're disciplined when you're young to get that 700 or 800 credit score, now you're an asset. You're not a liability.
All right.
Now that girl or that guy is looking at you. Oh, you got an 800 credit score? Let me talk to you. You know,
Yep.
because those are some of the questions you have to ask now in terms of you're out there dating. You
Right.
know, and that comes from discipline. You go over to some young guy's house. You're dating him, and he got a room stocked with tennis shoes, but still live in an apartment. Come
Yep.
on now, you got to be disciplined.
That's right.
Now you can have that room stocked with tennis shoes, or that room stocked with shoes. Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Fendi, all those stuff. But what else do you have? Do you have
Yep.
a house? Do you have a 401k? What else do you have?
Right.
You know, and that comes with discipline. You have to. I was a part of an organization as a kid called the Boys Brigade. It's like Cubs and Scouts. It's an English version of Cubs and Scout. And my captain always used to. He never say discipline. He used to say discipline. so so growing up, you're always taught discipline. Discipline. When to say no. In fact, being able to say no. No, thank you. I'm good.
Right.
As a child growing up, when you go to the grocery shop, which I'm going to tell you, don't go in here and act a fool and don't listen.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. But that was discipline. Where you show out, that's where she gets you. Wherever you show out, she gets you right there if you're not disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have that financial discipline. And for me, in my business, I have to be disciplined as well. I often not that I can play dominoes or anything, but in dominoes they'll tell you all money ain't good money. Not that I can play dominoes or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
all money ain't good money. So you got to be disciplined, knowing, hey, now I can drive across town and do this gig for 50 cents, or I can go right here in my backyard and do this event for $1. Or, that event across town is only 50 cents and this event here is $1. But if I do that event for 50 cents, I'm going to get 5 or 6 more events from that one event. So am I disciplined enough to understand that? Am I disciplined enough to say, hey, all money ain't good money. I'm going to go across town and do that 50-cent event. And I'm going to build that relationship. I'm going to build that client up where, whenever that client is having an event, that client's going to call me.
Right.
So you have to be disciplined in all facets of your life. Like I said, to me, discipline is that root in the tree. Is that tree root where that if you're disciplined, you can weather whatever storm may come your way. And growing up in the Bahamas, I grew up with hurricanes. So, if that root is grounded, no matter what wind, what rain, what flood comes your way, that tree is going to still stand because of those roots. And discipline to me is a root of being successful, is a root of being able to discern, when to go and where to go.
Okay. Thank you. Those are some good tips. Excuse me. But I love, love, love discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline will take you a long way. You know, that's just like, I mean, you can just go anywhere with discipline.
Oh yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
you talk about your finances, uh, watching what you eat, if you're disciplined, just like you're talking about, the taking the drink. Okay, some might be something you like, but you're
Yeah.
disciplined enough to know when and when not. So
Yeah.
discipline is major.
Oh yeah, it's a key component to success. I mean, going back to Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, Kobe would after games, and especially if he, when he was young in his career, when he missed that last miss winning shot, he would after the game he would actually go back in the gym and shoot 100, 200 balls from the shot that he missed,
Mhm.
and that made him better. And that's discipline. I mean, that's some discipline to just go back and just keep pecking to
Right.
make sure that he's you have to have discipline in all facets of your life, because I remember something my mom said, it came to mind. It goes back to discipline, but they would say it like this: manners and respect will carry you all through the world. Manners and respect. If you have manners, which is kind of a discipline, and respect, no matter where you go, people will love you.
That's
You
right.
know, so discipline is definitely something that can carry you through this journey called life.
Definitely. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Sean. He dropped some great nuggets. It was a great conversation. If you missed any part of this, please go back and review it in its entirety so that you can pick up all those nuggets. But make sure that you get these 5 tips that he gave, because those will really, really assist someone out there. So, in saying that, that means you got to share, share, share. So, make sure that you share this. I know there's someone out there, young man, young lady, someone that can be assisted in realizing how different things that they can do to get to that next level. Sometimes it's easy for some people, other people not so easy. But one little tip can make the difference in someone's life. So find out who you're assigned to assist and assist that person. So
Definitely.
again, thank you for tuning in, and join us Thursday for Thursday Live of Coach Deborah. My topic is going to be UCCU. UCCU. You got to come back to find out what those stand for. It's very, very interesting. Come back.
You. That sounds
Yes.
exciting. I'm starting to UCCU. I'm gonna try to guess what this one is about, because I'm gonna be tuned in on Thursday.
Okay. All right. Write it down we'll see if you got it.
Okay. Thank you once again for having me.
You are so welcome. I'll have you back. You always have great content share, and I love the things that you're doing. So you will be back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, and
Until
so
next time.
oh yes. So everyone, you know that we are declaring Jeremiah 29:11 over your lives. God wants you to have prosperity, not disaster, and He wants you to have the future that you hope for. So please, please, please design your blueprint for success based on the plans that God has for you. Put in the work. You got to put in the work. Be disciplined. I'm going to add that in today. Be disciplined and build your best life. So before I close out completely, do you have a closing thought, anything you thought of that you like to leave with everyone?
You know, going back to what you said in terms of there's always someone out there to help you that's assigned to you. I've been so blessed that no matter where I go, I've always had someone to kind of to walk alongside me and kind of help me in this journey called life. No one can do it by themselves. No one can walk alone. If you don't have friends, or you don't have God with you, you know, please get 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 somewhere where someone can pour into you, or you can pour into somebody, because no one's supposed to be walking this life alone. And so, you know, get with somebody so that you don't have to walk alone.
Right. That's so good. That is so good. So remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan, it's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. I'll be looking for you Thursday. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye bye.